Hi guys, welcome to another video with me, Clarice. In this video, we are going to enhance on this Hawaiian ginger flower that we loosely painted. And I'm going to show you a slightly different, looser version of this. And I'm just going to use this area to build up on that. And here we are with me adding a little bit of those stems in that I mentioned, or that I have been doing in previous videos as well. I figured as this is drying, or before it dries, let's just add it only on the one side because the other side is dried up. The texture adds something a little bit dainty. Okay, so for this version of the Hawaiian ginger, it's going to be a light pink, and I think it'll complement this one really well. So we're going to be using a combination of the magic red, is it magic? No, sorry, rose red and flash red right here. And then we'll throw in a little bit of the rose red in there, and you will see how that turns out. So for brushes, I'm going to be using the number 4 Velvetouch mainly. I'll keep the Princeton 6 Neptune handy just in case I need to do anything with it, but I highly doubt. All right, so I'm using a cut-off sheet of paper here, and with the number 4, I'm going to get some of that rose red in the shimmer. Yeah, that's what it is. It's the metallic rose red. And we're going to make sure we've got a nice fine pointed tip. And we're going to start off by just adding, these are going to be a lot thinner in comparison to the thick petals that we did for the first one. So here we go. Just loose little strokes like that. Dipping the tip of my brush in water. I'm going to create another one kind of protruding from it, dipping the tip of my brush in water again. I'm creating another one. The key to these, or this version of the Hawaiian ginger, is to get a lot of white space happening and thin strokes, and then you go light and then just throw in a little bit of that color in there. Okay, so we're building up to that pattern, and you can just go sideways just like I'm doing. Like when I say sideways, I mean you can just create these little strokes to the side going downward, and for the center you can sort of just do little curves, C curves. And now we're going to switch to the lighter color. And it gives you such a pretty shimmer. I'm just throwing some into the areas that we've already painted. But you want to get that nice, it's almost like a cone, for lack of a better way to describe it. And notice how I'm going very lightly and just sort of making sure I have lots of white space as I'm building this downward. Now before this dries up, we want to go in and get some of our regular rose red. So I'm going to get some of that regular rose red. Actually, I have some of that mixed on here. And I'm going to throw some of that in right here. Just like what we did in the first one, we're just throwing it into these areas. And I'm going to switch to the madder red. And I'm creating the same thing. We're going to do the absolute last portion of this. Leaving lots of white space in between. Throwing the color in a little bit at the top over here where it meets. And then really kind of covering it up at the bottom here. And then we go directly into our green. We're just using the tree green, and I'm going to do a very muted version of it. So like very light. And I think that first stroke of the madder red was a bit much, so you can almost take a brush take your brush and just swipe off color if you feel like it's too much. But I love this version because there's so much blending, and it's a great way to practice your white space as well. So now the same sort of deal for the base here. You're kind of just pulling it downward. The red, I'm leaving white space in between, and I'm going to make this one whimsical, not thick like the previous one that we did. So I'm just doing it like this, giving it a little bit of a curve, pulling some of that red, so when it dries up it gives me that beautiful blend. And then using the number 4 still, we can go into doing just as soon as I'm finished doing the stem, go into doing a leaf. So I'll do this leaf. We've got this flower this way. Do the leaf like that. And I love the idea of sort of going extra loose, doing the middle of the leaf first, and then kind of really pressing down your brush and creating this area of the leaf. And then throwing in some of that green to sort of really add to our whole wet on wet feel. And you always want to go darker towards the bottom. So that's what I'm doing here. And I'm going to do the other side of the leaf, just a hint. And then we're almost done. It's these highlights here where I'm adding a darker green. This is what really makes the end result really pop. So fix your areas where you need to. I've thrown in a lot of color because I'm really looking for that nice, rich swirls of color or green happening within my leaf here. And I've left some white space as well. And now I'm just going to do I'm not connecting the whole thing because I left a little bit of white space there. And then I will definitely do some veins for this leaf. It is a beautiful, beautiful gradient of green and very loose and extremely whimsical in nature. And this is exactly the look I was going for. So I hope you guys found this informative and fun to see how you can take something very basic like the wet on wet technique, just do the shape, add in the color, and the color literally speaks for itself. And that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm just going to add a little bit of darker tone at the bottom here. And we are done. Can't wait to see what you guys do. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out. I am more than happy to answer or help. I'm going to put this original ginger next to this one so you have a reference and you can see how different they are. Thanks guys for watching, and we'll chat soon. Bye.